So just like we studied about the electric potential, in this lecture we will be seeing what is the magnetic potential. So in the case of electrostatic fields, we defined this quantity V, which was called an electrostatic potential or voltage, and this was a scalar quantity. Similarly, and also this V was connected with the electric field, right? Similarly, we can define a magnetic potential which is associated with H, and but the thing is that this magnetic potential can both be vector and scalar. We will see how. So to define these quantities, this vector magnetic potential and scalar magnetic potential, we will use some identities and some theorems to see how we can find these quantities. So first of all, you know that del cross del V is equal to 0. So what does it say? It says that curl of gradient of any scalar is always going to be 0. So why is the curl of gradient of any scalar is 0? So what does the gradient show you? Gradients show if some scalar quantity is changing, then the magnitude of gradient will show the magnitude of that change, and the direction of this gradient will be the direction of where this quantity is changing maximum, right? So it will be shown in a particular direction. It is not going to be circular. So this quantity is basically your gradient. Now if you take curl of this quantity, so since this vector is not rotational, it is in going in a particular direction, the curl of this gradient of p is always going to be 0. Now similarly, if you see the second quantity, this is also a very important identity. Divergence of curl is equal to 0. So why the divergence of curl is 0? Curl of any vector shows a rotational vector, right? Something which is rotating. And if you take the divergence, we have already discussed that divergence represents some flux of some particular vector going out from a particular closed surface area, right? When the surface area is shrank to a small point. But since this vector is circular, which is del cross A, it is always going to come back, right? So it is not diverging out or it is not coming inside. So the divergence of curl of a vector is always going to be 0. So we will be using these two identities for our purpose. So let us first discuss about the scalar magnetic potential, and we represent it using Vm, right? Scalar magnetic potential. Just like in the case of electric fields, we defined E is equal to minus del V. Remember the previous lectures. We can define H is equal to minus del Vm. Here Vm is called the magnetic scalar potential. Now, we also know from the Maxwell's equations that del cross H is equal to J, right? Del cross H is equal to J, or I am writing it in the opposite direction. J is equal to del cross H. Now, if you replace this H from here to here, you will get del cross minus del Vm. You can take this minus sign out, so you will get minus del cross del Vm. Isn't this identity similar to this first identity, del cross del V? It is similar. So it is always going to be 0 because curl of gradient of any scalar quantity is always going to be 0. So you see that if we define this scalar magnetic potential Vm and we relate it to the magnetic field intensity with this H is equal to minus del Vm, then one thing is going to certainly happen is that in that particular region where this magnetic potential is defined, this current density J is always going to be 0. It is because of the identity. So the current density what you will get, it will be 0. Now let us go back to electrostatics, and let me tell you one thing, that from the Maxwell's first equation you knew that del dot D is equal to rho V. So for any particular region where volume charge density is rho V, the divergence of magnetic flux density is equal to rho V, right? So you can also write it as del dot epsilon E is equal to rho V, which means del dot E is equal to rho V upon epsilon. Now E, as you already know that E, you can write it as minus del V. So let me place it here. Del dot minus del V is equal to rho V upon epsilon. So this equation, if you can take this minus sign out, it will become del dot del V is equal to minus rho V upon epsilon. And this quantity is basically called Laplacian. It is also written as del square V is equal to minus rho V upon epsilon. So del square V is equal to minus rho V upon epsilon. This is a very famous equation and its name is Poisson's equation. Now what happens if rho V in that in a particular region is 0? So now if you assume for any particular region, if this rho V is 0, then what you will get is del square V is equal to 0. So rho V is equal to 0 means the region is charge free. So when the region is charge free, you will get del square V is equal to 0. And this also is called a very famous equation, which is called Laplace equation. So these two equation, out of these two equations, basically the second equation is very important, and a lot of questions in electromagnetic field theory are framed on these equations. So this will help. This helps calculating voltages and electric fields in any region. So why am I telling you this? That like for electric fields, if the region is charge free, you get del square V is equal to 0, which is the Laplacian of voltage is equal to 0. Similarly, Laplacian of magnetic potential is also 0 when J is 0. So we just found out that this J becomes 0. So in the region where current density is 0, the Laplacian of scalar magnetic potential is also 0. So this you should remember. Now, let us talk about vector magnetic potential. As I told you that magnetic potential can both be vector and scalar. So we discussed scalar. Now, using the second identity, this one, and using the Maxwell second equation, this one. What is the Maxwell second equation? It is del dot B is equal to 0. Divergence of magnetic flux density is always 0 because magnetic lines are circular. They are rotational. They go and they come back. So if you see del dot B is equal to 0 and del cross A equal to 0, so we can say that this B quantity can be equal to this del cross A. And A is a vector because we are taking the curl of A. So A, as we have assumed, is the vector magnetic potential. So using these two equations, we can say that B is equal to the curl of a vector A, and this A can be termed as vector magnetic potential. And just as we defined the voltage in the case of electrostatic, which was this formula, we can define this vector magnetic potential as these formulas, right? So if the current is in the line form, or for the line current, you will have the vector magnetic potential formula this. For surface current, it will be this formula, and for volume current, it will be this formula. So you need not remember all these formula. Maybe you can just remember the first two formulas, because very few questions come from these sections in competitive exams especially. Now we know that B is the magnetic flux density, and if you want to calculate the total magnetic flux, you have to take the surface integral, right? B dot ds. So that is what it is done here. So total magnetic flux is the surface integral of B, and from the previous discussion where we saw that B is the curl of A, we replaced it as this. And now from the Stokes theorem, you know that surface integral of curl of any vector is basically the line integral, closed line integral of that particular vector. So directly this psi, or the magnetic flux, can be related to the vector magnetic potential as the closed line integral. So this is for this video. Thank you.